Welcome to the Brand Spotlight with Len-Tex and Teknoflor. My name is Maya Allman. I lead client success for Ecomedes. We appreciate everybody tuning in today. We're hoping to have a very interesting discussion for you. A little bit about the agenda today. In just a second, I'm going to give both of our panelists an opportunity to introduce themselves and their organizations and tell you a little bit about their sustainability story. And then after that, I will give a quick live demo of the tool and the resource that we have to present to you and allow you to look at some of the awesome products that they are manufacturing. A little bit of background behind Ecomedes before we get started, just for those of you that aren't super familiar with our organization. We are a software organization that is working to solve the challenges around specifying sustainable building materials for building projects. So we work with manufacturers like Teknoflor and Len-Tex to help them digitize their transparency information in a way that makes it easier for buyers to do business with them. So our mission is to help buyers find the right products for their projects while also reducing the overall cost and impact of commercial buildings. If anybody has any questions about Ecomedes, you can follow up with me after. Happy to share any other information. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the panelists. We're going to be starting with Ellie from Teknoflor. Go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Maya. Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Ellie Priester, and I am the Vice President of Marketing for Teknoflor. Next slide, please. So Teknoflor is a major manufacturer and distributor of flooring products. We are headquartered here in the United States, but sell across the entire globe. We have a strong focus in healthcare, senior care, government. We do a lot of education and corporate projects as well. If you are in the healthcare sector, that's probably where you know us the best. That's kind of where we originally got our footing and where we've really kind of made our ground. We've specialized in high performance products, specifically no wax, no buff floors, and really kind of got our footing in the resilient sheet area. We have both heterogeneous and homogeneous sheet vinyls, tiles, luxury vinyl tiles, and planks, as well as non-vinyl flooring and sustainable offerings, which we'll talk about as well today. So Teknoflor has been around for over 2 decades, but you might know us previously as Shannon Specialty Floors, which is a family-owned company that has been around since 1921. So this year would actually be our centennial year. And within the past, I would say 5 years, we've rebranded the company to Teknoflor, which used to be one of our primary products that we offered. So really just changing our name. All of our values have stayed the same. The company has really had a sense of pride and ownership in kind of that traditional small family office mentality. But within this rebranding, we have really pushed ourselves to be more modern, diverse, and bold. And obviously, a lot of that has to do with being very transparent and trying to be leaders in the sustainability movement. But as well, we've kind of expanded our product offering. Like I said, we started by just offering resilient sheet to now offering a whole different array of products in a really, diverse offering. So as I mentioned, these are just a few of the products that we offer. Again, really started in resilient sheet and offer everything from vinyl products to bio-based products that are made with biopolyurethanes that are derived from castor oil and chalk, and really innovative products, as well as a new loose lay-like technology that has a biophilic design element that mimics a gecko's handprints and is a non-adhesive floor. So like I said, we're really kind of stepping into a new modern era of our company and offering all different kinds of product offerings and trying to stay on the forefront of what all of our clients are looking for next. High performance design. So as I said, all of our products are really focused on high performance design. We want products to be low maintenance. We want them to be durable. We have products that have been in education system and healthcare systems for 20 plus years and look brand new. And that's very important to us. A no wax, no buff mentality means that you can just, it's a wash and go floor, and it's not going to need a ton of upkeep or really any kind of attention to it whatsoever. And that's something that we stand by and something that the original Shannon Specialty Floors owners really prided themselves in. Now with our new modern take on that, we've taken it a step further and we've actually reduced or moved all of our products to 100% virgin vinyl offering. So we know exactly what's in our products, and we are transparent about that. So even in our vinyl products, we offer things such as declare labels, and we tell you exactly what's in them. So not only are we sustainable, but we're transparent as well. And we've really moved to offering, manufacturing all clean products, even with vinyl, having it be 100% virgin vinyl, knowing exactly what's in our manufacturing process and what's in our products. So that's what HPD stands for in our products. If you've seen them on our website or around, HPD stands for high performance design, which means it is a new composition of product that has been cleaned and thoroughly thought through and kind of redeveloped. And luckily, through that process of cleaning these products, we've actually found that they perform better as well. So it's really been a win-win. But if you get to know our products, high performance design, HPD really stands for this new generation of modern composition. And transparency and sustainability. So as I said, we know that a floor is not just a considerable part of any building project, but that it really makes an impact in, the consumer's experience within the space, and as well as the architect and designer's experience building the space. So we offer all different kinds of labels, as you can see here, all the way from a biopolyurethane product like Naturescapes, which is a Living Product Challenge pedal certified product, which, if you're not familiar with the Living Product Challenge, that means that we're working to basically offset any negative footprint that we have with that product with hand printing, which is adding positives through that product manufacturing process to its livelihood. And then declare labels, which, like I said, we have declare labels even for our vinyl products, telling you exactly what's in it. So declare labels like a nutrition label for your products. We are fully disclosing what is in these products. We're not trying to hide anything. Yes, there's vinyl, but we've taken every step that we can to make sure that it's clean. And then as well on the bottom, you're going to see mindful materials, healthcare without harm, cradle to cradle, and HPD. We affiliate with all of those brands or all of those certifications, as well as have products that fall under all of their criteria as well.
Okay, thanks so much, Ellie. And now we're going to hear a little bit about Dawn and Len-Tex's sustainability story and their manufacturing story. Go ahead, Dawn.
Thank you, Maya. My name is Don Lennon, and I'm the president of Len-Tex Corporation. And much like Teknoflor, we are a family business that's 38 years in the making. And my brother Charles is sitting in the room with me, although he's not on the camera right now. Maybe you can see it. We've been looking at vinyl film. We grew up in the wall covering industry back in the 60s. I did. And our family had a manufacturing business. I saw a lot of very somewhat scary chemicals used in the products that our family was producing. When we started up in 1983, we had an understanding that we did not want to use those same materials. We did not want to duplicate the chemistry that I had grown up with. And hence in 1986, we converted to a water-based printing ink system, virtually zero VOC. And that was really the first step in becoming a responsible manufacturer, and the first step in our sustainability efforts, which have continued right through for the last 36 years. We manufacture much like Teknoflor, a clean product. In fact, you can see on the screen, clean vinyl technology. That is our trademark. We've been using that mark for approximately 11 years. And it reflects what we've done to clean up the product and to change the basic nature of PVC chemistry. It can be made better, and we have been making it better. And to get into some of the weeds on this, there is a perception that exists in some areas of the design community that pricing for sustainable building products is high or higher than typical. And while that's true for some products, we believe that price may also connote value. And the value in an interior building product is, we believe, is identified by performance, durability, ease of maintenance, recyclability, interior enhancement, and in the case of Len-Tex products, a healthier indoor environment. Len-Tex wall coverings have significantly evolved over the 38 years that we've been here. We drilled down into the construction of our products and sought cleaner chemical components. We've been able to replace what we felt were problem components: orthophthalate plasticizers, arsenic-based biocides, antimony fire retardants, phenol stabilizers, formaldehyde and inks and coatings, and heavy metal colorants, with far more benign alternatives. Over time, we've also added value factors, which are, for example, low volatile emitting chemistry, earning the sole FCS Global Indoor Advantage Gold certification in the wall covering industry. We began adding, in about 2010, ultra-fresh antimicrobials compounded into the PVC film, inhibiting the growth of bacteria, mold, and mildew at a level greater than 99.9% for the life of the wall covering. We recently improved our AquaClear protective top coating and began working with a 100% water-based urethane product that we believe, as a roller applied coating, has the best stain resistance, abrasion resistance, and cleanability in the industry. And that is a standard on virtually all the wall coverings we produce. Nothing added at extra cost. In our laminating adhesive, because we've got to somehow stick that backing to the PVC film, we used a citrate-based plasticizer, a citric acid-based material derived from, obviously, citrus fruit. The use of 100% water-based formaldehyde-free printing inks developed for us 30 years ago. And as just an added enhancement, we offer microventing of the PVC surface to allow water vapor transmission to minimize fungal growth in the wall interior cavity. To give our distributor sales teams confidence in Len-Tex science-based data that they're presenting to their customers, we rely on documentation from third-party certifiers and independent testing labs. Our goal is to give specifiers, facility managers, and all customers confidence that our green claims are factual, tested, and badged by SCS Global Indoor Advantage, Green Circles Certified Environmental Facts, CHIPS, and much more. In addition, we're now participating in Ecomedes, which we're very excited about, which is an online platform, as Maya has already introduced, to easily and factually source sustainable building products using on-platform filters like Green Circle, C2C, SCS Global, Sustainable Minds, Zero Docs, and more. I think that one of the most important things that we've done just recently is begun participating in Green Circle certification, which is again a multi-attribute certification that publishes certified environmental facts. I think this is extremely important, and it is documentation that is easy for a specifier or facilities person to understand, to be confident that they're sourcing absolutely the best product possible. So that kind of sums up who we are and what we do. And Maya, the floor is back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Don. I appreciate that. I appreciate that background, and I appreciate both of you and both of your organizations for being dedicated to manufacturing sustainable products. We were talking about, just before we hopped on the webinar today, how much it's evolved over the last, 10, 20 years. And, we're working with two manufacturers right here and speaking to them that basically have had this mission and had this goal from the start. So we appreciate the work that you're doing. And, thank you for making our environment a cleaner place. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into a quick live demo for everybody, just so we can kind of showcase the resource and how the audience members here today can utilize it when they are specifying your materials. Quick agenda items after this, we're going to go through a little Q&A. We have some discussion questions for Ellie and Dawn to talk about. And then if you have questions along the way, we're hoping we'll have 10 or so minutes at the end to take some audience questions. So go ahead and drop those into the chat box or the Q&A box. And my coworker will be sending those to me. I'll be taking a look, and hopefully we can get to some of those. And then at the end, we have a little survey for everybody to fill out. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hop into products.ecomedes.com. This is kind of our home base where we house all of our information. Just to give a little bit of background, Ecomedes, we get our data from a lot of different sources. So those sources include the certifying bodies themselves, right? So, UL Environment, SCS, for example, they send us information on all the products that have been certified with their organization. And we also work with manufacturers like Len-Tex and Teknoflor to organize their information and make sure that it all makes sense. So with that, I encourage everybody to go ahead and register for an account together. It's totally free to use, open to the public. I'm going to log out of my account so that I can show you all to log in. I'm going to go ahead and send or drop the URL into the chat box so that everybody can grab that. All you have to give is your name and an email. You can go ahead and sign up for an account. You don't have to sign up for an account. What signing up for an account is going to allow you to do is save a group of products in a project, which means that you can come back to it later. So I'm going to go ahead and log into mine because that's where all of my projects are stored. And we'll show you some capabilities next. So landing page, you can sort by popular categories, popular brands. Then you have your filters in the left-hand navigation. You can search again by category, brand, certifications and eco labels, rating systems, different shopping options if that's what you're looking for. So just to show you an example, let's say that maybe I was looking for building finishes. And from there, I'm going to see a bunch of subcategories because building finishes is a pretty broad category and there are a lot of things that I can search for under building finishes. So maybe in this example, because I want to navigate to some wall covering products, I'm going to go and select wall coverings as my subcategory. And from there, I can see some of the Len-Tex products are going to come up, but I'm not ready to be done filtering because I have another criteria. I'm only looking for products specifically with an environmental product declaration. I know for my project that I have to have an EPD within my wall coverings. So I'm going to go ahead and select that filter. So now I'm only seeing the 71 products within this filter of building finishes, wall coverings that have an EPD. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these pages so we can see some of the information that's provided. So I'm going to click on this Adobe product right here, and I can scroll down. I can see, okay, here are all of the certifications that this product has. I can link to the certifications if I need to download them and collect that documentation. I can see the embodied carbon of the product, any chemical avoidance, right? So Prop 65 chemical free. And general information. So I have contact information, and then I can always link back to the product page. So maybe I'm ready to go back to Len-Tex's website, get in contact with a rep. I can also click this button right here if you're ready to make a purchase. And from here, there's a couple other capabilities that we can do, but I want to go back and do another quick search before we move forward. So I can also search for brands that I'm looking for using this left-hand navigation. I can also just directly type in the search box. So maybe I'm coming here and I know what I'm looking for, and I want to check out the Teknoflor products. I'm going to go ahead and just search for that brand, and the products are going to go ahead and pop up. And again, if I click on one of these product detail pages, each product may have different information attached to it. So I can see all the certifications. I can link to the certifications if I'm ready to download them, some recycled content information, again, chemical avoidance, you know, that it has 3-part specifications. If I'm ready to specify, right, and maybe I want to click on that to generate the specifications. And if I want to go back to that product page, I can click on that link right there under general information. So that is some of the information and data that's attached to these products. And from here, another capability of the tool is maybe I'm looking at 2 products, whether they're from the same brand or a different brand, and I want to look at them side by side. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and use the comparison tool. And I can just click this add to comparison right here. And I want to compare maybe these 2 products right here and just look at the information side by side and see, okay, how are these products different, and maybe which one is a better fit for my project specifically. So I can see, okay, this is going to compare all of these data points exactly side by side. It's going to allow me to see, okay, maybe one product has information on recycled content. Maybe that's a specification in for my project for this product category. So maybe I'm going to select the one on the left, or maybe I'm just looking at 2 products that I like and I need to get a second opinion on it. I can go ahead and just copy this URL and send it over to, my architect or the person on my design team, and let me know, okay, I like the one on the right better. So that's just a comparison feature that's going to allow you to kind of look at 2 products side by side. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to show everybody today is the project tool. And the project tool is going to allow you, again, to save a group of products. I already have some projects created, but I'm going to go ahead and just create a new one just so I can show everybody today. So I'm going to click this add to project. And again, you have to be logged in to create a project just so that we can save your information. There's nobody that can access your projects. It's on a 1-to-1 ratio, so nobody else can see the projects that you're building. If you want to work on a project together, we're actually in the process of building a sharing capability within the project for now. I recommend just using a shared login. I'm going to go ahead and create a new project, and I'm going to label it, hospital retrofit. And I can type in the zip code of the project. That's going to allow me to potentially generate any regional credits related to LEED. I'll be showing everybody how to generate LEED credits and analysis around rating systems in just 1 second. I'm going to add a couple more products to my project just for fun. I'm going to go ahead. There's my hospital retrofit down there. As you can see, I've created a lot of projects. I'm going to add one more Teknoflor product, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some Len-Tex. There it goes. It's already smarter than I am. It knows what I'm looking for. Let's go in and add some Len-Tex products. You can add as many products as you'd like to a project. There's no limit. I know that most projects have, maybe 2,000 plus materials in it. So feel free to add as many as you'd like. There's no limit. And just so everybody knows, right, there are many product categories within Ecomedes outside of just wall coverings and flooring. So you can come in here and add your Len-Tex and your Teknoflor products, and you can also add maybe some other materials from your project to do a full comprehensive analysis. So I'm going to access my projects by clicking on this project tab right here. And I'm going to scroll to the bottom. And as you can see, if the project contains products that consume energy or water, it's going to do an ROI analysis for you, a return on investment analysis of how much you're potentially saving if you're comparing it to a baseline. I'm going to scroll to the bottom so that I can find my hospital retrofit project that I've started to build. I have 6 products in there right now. I'm going to come in and configure my project. Maybe for my description, I want to put my contact information so that anybody that I share this documentation with can basically know who to ask if they're looking at it. Maybe I want to put a street address. or just kind of a location. I already have my zip code, client name. Maybe we're working for Sutter Health. And I'm going to go ahead and press save on those details. And then in here, I can come in here and modify the quantity and price. It's going to do a quick cost analysis. So let's go ahead and just enter some random numbers in here so we can see how that works. All right. And it'll, put the quantity in whichever metric makes sense for that product. That's already dictated, so you don't have to enter that in. All right, so I've got my pricing data in here. I'm gonna go ahead and press save. And then I'm gonna scroll down and add any rating systems that I'm interested in. So as you can see, we have a long list of rating systems. So everybody knows you can do this analysis on a product detail page as well. We looked at a single product page. It's just going to be for only that product. A project allows you to do it for more than one product. So maybe I'm going to select, LEED version 4, interior design and construction for commercial interiors. Or maybe I'm interested in LEED version 4, building design and construction for new construction. The list goes on. These are mostly interior products, so probably more related to interior design and construction. And then I can go ahead and press evaluate. It's going to give me a quick cost analysis of my project, and it's going to show me how my project as a whole, right, contributes to the different versions of LEED. We also have Living Building Challenge and WELL and Green Globes in the system if you're doing one of those projects. So it's going to show me how my project as a whole contributes to those rating systems. And then as I scroll down, right, I have my cost analysis here at a project level. As I scroll down, it's going to give me all of that information at a product level. So I still have all of my detail here that I saw on the product detail page. Even when I download a PDF of this page, it's going to have live links. So I can still, as long as I'm sending this via email, etc., I can still open up that EPD if I need, or the green circle certificate. I can hide this detail if I really just want to see the contributions, right? And then I can start to see, okay, how does this individual product basically allow me to get closer to my goal with my LEED project. So again, it's going to show you all that information as I scroll down. It's a very long and rich PDF. As you can imagine, 2,000 products in here. It can get very long, but that's all the documentation that you would need for your LEED application. From here, I can go ahead and just download that PDF. Again, you can also download a PDF of just a product detail page that we looked at, as well as calculate the rating system contributions. I just wanted to, for the sake of time, show you how you could do it for multiple products at once. So I've downloaded this PDF. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up so we can see what it looks like. Here it is. It's going to show me, again, all of that information of how my products are contributing to LEED, etc. Okay. So that's the project feature. If anybody has any questions about some of the functionalities of Ecomedes, let me know. Another quick thing that I want to point out is that if anybody's starting their search and just looking for products that contribute to a rating system, but you're not exactly sure, how you're getting there or which credits you're looking for, you can also use the rating system filter in the left-hand navigation. Go ahead and filter down, I'm only looking for maybe building finishes that contribute to LEED version 4.1, for example, right? So that's another way that you could use that filter to search for a group of products. Okay. And with that, that concludes our live demo. Again, if anybody has questions on the platform, let us know. You can reach out to me personally. I hope that everybody can utilize that for their specifications, for their projects. So with that, I'm going to jump into the Q&A session. We have a couple questions for our panelists, just to hear a little bit more about kind of their journey and some challenges along the way. Let me go ahead and go back into present mode. The first question that we have is, what have been some of the challenges that you've experienced in marketing your sustainable products? So we talked about, the nuances of actually building the sustainable products and some of the reasoning behind that. But after you've done that and you've, incurred all of this cost around basically building extremely environmentally preferable products, How have you marketed that? How have you brought that to market? What have some of the challenges been? Ellie, we can start with you, and then Dawn, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, so this is a really good question, and it's one that we talk about internally a lot. So one of the biggest, I guess, challenges that we've experienced is execution and follow through versus interest, right? So marketing a sustainable product is very easy, right? Coming from a marketer, there's so many benefits. Our parent company, HMTX, I have to shout out to Art, who's on here. Arthur Clark does all of our eco labels and really helps with sustainability. I have a whole arsenal of things that I can market these wonderful, wonderful products to you, right? Our biggest issue is the follow through from customers. And we see a lot that everybody thinks that obviously these products have all these benefits and they're beautiful and they're sustainably made, but they get value engineered out of the project a lot. And we totally understand that because they are expensive products. Unfortunately, they're expensive products for us to manufacture. They're expensive products for us to market due to all of the different labels and certifications and things that are required. Oftentimes they're more expensive to install due to, if there's adhesive requirements that you need that are, the adhesive need to be, sustainable to a level, et cetera, et cetera. We see a lot of times that there's so much energy that goes into manufacturing and marketing and talking about these products only to be replaced by cheaper options. That's something on both sides, right? We wish that these were cheaper for us to manufacture, but we also need our customers and clients to understand what they're buying is not that you can't expect it to just be the same cost as something that's less sustainable. I know Maya and Dawn, we joked around earlier before the call saying, it's a lot like buying organic products versus non-organic products, and almond flour with a cookie versus just regular white flour, and that needs to be considered when you're talking about building products as well, because there is a lot of energy and investment that goes into these products. And as fun as they are to market, sometimes it's disheartening not to see them follow through. But we're starting to see all of our clients and really the marketplace adapt to these products and not be as sticker shocked, that they are more expensive, and be willing to make the investment. So on the, obviously with every challenge, there's an opportunity. And I do think that we're seeing that these products are gaining a lot more interest and getting a lot more backing, particularly from end users and specifiers who really understand the value of the product. So we do think that this hurdle and this challenge, we'll be over it pretty soon, but that's kind of our biggest,
Yeah, absolutely. So making sure that there is the demand in the marketplace to kind of handle that capacity, right? You're making a big investment in making these products more sustainable, and you have to make sure that, it's gonna pay off in the end. And this is actually what the marketplace wants. Thank you so much for that, Ellie. Dawn, what about you? Can you speak to any challenges that you have around bringing these products to market?
I would agree with everything Ellie said. We've been working on improving the product and taking out problem chemistries, I mentioned earlier, for 15 to 20 years. And it is true that these alternative, more benign chemistries that have become available, really many of them just in the last decade, they are more costly. It is a more expensive product. There's no way to get around that. We cannot, because also all of our raw materials are made in the United States. We source nothing offshore because we want to know the pedigree of every component of our products. But that puts us at times into a very difficult situation, competing with products that don't have these particular attributes. All we can do is hope that we are conveying enough information, and we have to be cautious about that as well. We can deluge the specifier or the customer with the science, but you have to have a basic science background to grasp it. So we've got to condense this down into something that's easy to understand, easy to use, easy to source, and hopefully still remains price competitive. It's an ongoing challenge. I think we're like Teknoflor, I think we're probably a bit ahead of the market and waiting for it to a degree to catch up, understanding that better products make for healthier interiors. So it's, again, very similar.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that input. And it really leads us perfectly into our next question, more of a follow-up question, right? So, we've talked about this, we deal with this internally a lot as well. How do we take this extremely technical information and simplify it and break it down so that everybody can understand it? I remember when I joined this team and I joined kind of this market and this industry, it's overwhelming. Sustainability is extremely complicated, and every different category and every individual product has its own nuances and, 10 to 500 pieces of information attached to that single product. And you can get very much deep into the data. But if you don't understand kind of the manufacturing process super well, or what the materials are made up of, it can get really complicated and difficult to comprehend very fast. So that leads us to our next question. We talked a little bit earlier about some of the eco labels and certifications that both of your teams have, decided to get for your products and pursue. Do you think that these eco labels and certifications help you in communicating the value? So breaking down and simplifying basically all of the work that goes into creating a sustainable product. Dawn, you touched on this just now a little bit. We can switch up the order here. So Dawn, if you want to give us your take first, and then Ellie, we'll go to you.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit of history. About 12 years ago, the Wall Covering Association started to develop a sustainability standard. It was based on NSF 332, which is Ellie, you're probably familiar with, the resilient flooring sustainability standard. We kind of copied that, and it became NSF 342. And for 10 years plus, worked our way through it. It started off as if I recall correctly, a 39-page document. It might have been 47 that we thought, gee, every designer in the world will have an opportunity to read this and to understand what we have done. Not all of us, but many of us in the wall covering industry. Little did we know that we were just overwhelming people with information, and no one has time to digest it. For many people, it's not even meaningful because it's technically oriented and specific to the manufacture of the product. So we thought about this long and hard, and last year, decided that we had to find something that was concise, easy, marketable, in which also the certifier or certification agency participated in the marketing. And we decided to cast our lot with Tad Rudzinski and his good folks at Green Circle, developing his certified environmental facts, which are actually, the scorecard is easy for someone to understand. For years, we've had, actually for about 12 years, we've had SCS Indoor Advantage Gold certification as ultra low emitting material. These are the kind of things, they're specific. It's a badging that's relatively easy to understand. It can fit in one hand as opposed to a 47-page book. And I think that we have seen this deliver value for us, as well as all the other certifications, HPDs and EPDs and so on and so forth, the rest of the alphabet soup. So I'll turn the floor over to Ellie.
Thanks, Dawn.
No, great. I mean, I think from a marketing perspective, I can tell you that eco labels absolutely communicate a value. And I think most importantly, they help tell a story about each product. And I think we find that both our customers and our sales reps alike find them helpful for that reason. So, I've only been doing this for about 6 years now, and the amount of information that is available for our products is just tenfold. And it's because of these eco labels. And there's so many different ones. And a lot of times it can be overwhelming because a lot of them tell you the same thing, but in a different way. but the main point is the same, of that, every product, regardless of its sustainable attributes, is transparent, and we're telling you how it's made and what it's made with and the story behind each product. And so now I think, specifiers, architects, designers, end users, everybody alike can really resonate with a product and know exactly what they're purchasing and what exactly they're putting in their project. And, not only obviously you do trust your sales rep or the person that you're working with, but this is a whole nother level of trust with the company, right? I think, like I showed on the screen, we are very dedicated to our labels and partnering with different, certification groups, et cetera. And I think it really is a testament to our company's dedication to transparency and sustainability, and just, telling you what exactly is in our products and being transparent about that and wanting to communicate the process. I think, so not only do they communicate value, I think they tell a story, and I really think that they show, the value of a company and what we support.
Absolutely. So in other words, yes, they definitely help in communicating the value, and they simplify it for those that, maybe don't have a background in sustainability. Awesome. Thank you both so much for that input. We have a couple questions from the audience. One that is very much related to something we were actually just talking about. The question came in specifically for Dawn, but I want both of you to answer it, definitely, because we really just had a conversation about this. The question is, recently it has come to light that antimicrobials may do more harm than good. Kaiser, for example, has banned the use of antimicrobials in interior buildings products recently. What are your thoughts on this? Whoever wants to go first can. Go ahead.
Ellie?
Yeah, so we, like Maya just said, we just got done having this conversation. Before the pandemic, this was all over the place, right? Everybody said, we don't want any more antimicrobials. We don't want it in our product, et cetera, et cetera. And we totally understand why, the risk of superbugs and, the studies that have come out because of it. With that being said, now, of course, some of the tables have been turned, and now we, do get requested for it. And in the light of the pandemic, it's something that people want again. Now, with that, I'm going to say it's a caveat, just like everything else in this world of, from a manufacturer standpoint, I can tell you that there are a bunch of people that want it, and there's a bunch of people that don't want it. And that puts us in a hard position because, obviously different people within our organization have different stances on it. So the approach that we've started doing is actually being able to make products with or without it. So one of my coworkers, Nikki, makes a really good story when people don't understand it. She's like, when you go to McDonald's, you either order a cheeseburger with cheese or you order it without. And we're very fortunate to be in a position with a few of our products that we can do that. So if one of our products does not offer antimicrobials, because we have taken the steps to get rid of those in a lot of our products, we can add it. And if one of our products does have antimicrobials and you say, hey, I really don't want that, we can get it made without it as well. So I think we're really trying to appease everyone, and obviously you can't do that fully because there's going to be people that don't want it to see it anywhere, and then there's going to be people who can't believe we don't have it. From a perspective of this question, I just encourage everyone to do their own research, as with everything. And I think from a manufacturer, we're just trying to provide the best that we can for our customers, and trying to be very flexible on what we offer and, stay with the times. So we're giving everybody what they want.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Dawn, what about you? Do you have any input on kind of antimicrobials and their taste in the market right now?
Yeah, well, historically, we had some issues in the Wall Covering Association with the occurrence of mold and mildew occurring in the wall cavity. It's sometimes evidenced as pink stain on the surface of the wall covering. And it became actually a fairly serious situation. And if you are living in an environment in which you have mold present, it is not necessarily the healthiest place you can live. So what we did initially, we began working with Ultrafresh as an antifungal compound. And we discovered that the combination of the micro-venting, or making the vinyl sheet breathable, plus the compounding of a minuscule amount of Ultrafresh into the vinyl wall covering product, eliminated mold growth in a remarkable way. Plus, we replaced a arsenic-based biocide with a non-arsenic based biocide, which is a much more friendly product, as you can imagine, arsenic being a heavy metal. So where we are today is a side benefit of this antifungal is the full antimicrobial function of the UltraFresh, again, compounded into the vinyl. It does not migrate. It does provide a surface that is that will destroy the under ISO 22196. It will eliminate E. coli and Staphylococcus bacteria. Is that a good thing? Potentially, certainly in healthcare environments, potentially in certain types of retail environments. Are there people concerned about it? Absolutely. But we need to provide the most functional product we can, as well as being decorative and durable. And we expect it to last on someone's wall for 10 years. So we have opted to take this approach. We still think it's the right thing to do.
Got it. So it sounds like through flexibility and innovation, your team's goals are really just to meet the priorities of your customers. And sometimes it can be difficult to do that because some customers will have different priorities, but allowing for those differences and those nuances in your manufacturing process seems to be a good solution for both of you. Thank you so much for that input, and thank you to whoever asked that question. We got a couple questions just really quickly from a technical perspective about Ecomedes that I just want to address and answer. We got one question about the purpose of the zip code, and that in retrospect to, does it show you the products that are closest to your area, basically. For some of our products, yes. We have some products that have different manufacturing locations attached to a single product, specifically within the drywall category. So in that regard, yes, it will show you which product, if that information is available, is located to the closest manufacturing location to your zip code. That is true for some of the products that we have. For others, it is mostly to generate any regional credits. So if we do have manufacturing location in there and there's only one manufacturing location, some lead credits are based on regional credits, although I believe in the last few years they've restricted down that area to, I think, under 100 miles to qualify for those regional credits. So there's not a lot of materials unless you happen to be located right next to the manufacturing plant or the project does, that will comply for those regional credits. So hope that answers your question there. And then we also got a question about if all of the features in Ecomedes are free or if there's a paid version. On products.ecomedes.com right now, all of the features are free. It's available publicly to use. In terms of what we do for different manufacturers and buyers, we do sometimes create custom portals, actually oftentimes create custom portals and custom experiences for different manufacturers and brands, as well as different buyers that have different branding and sometimes different functionalities as well. So I hope that addresses that question as well. I think that kind of concludes all of the questions that we have for today. If you did have a question that did not make it in, feel free to reach out to me. We will be sending out the recording just so everybody knows, so you'll have access to that. This is my email right here. Feel free to shoot me a note if you have any follow-up questions or if you want to get in touch with either of our panelists and their organizations. Really quickly, I just would really appreciate, I'm going to drop into the chat box, if those of you that are on attending the webinar, if everybody would be so kind as to take a moment and fill out a quick survey. It's really helpful for us to get some feedback, just to know, how this went, what you thought of the webinar. So if you could take, hopefully 1 or 2 minutes out of your time and fill that out, it would really, really help us. We did get one other question. I think that this is for the panelists. Will you be offering a sampling program? So do you have a way where architects, designers, et cetera, can order samples? Either of you, Dawn or Ellie.
Yeah, We have a multitude of ways you can order samples. You can order it directly on our website. You can go through materialbank.com. We are on there as well. Or you can email samples@teknoflor.com.
Similarly, you can order samples directly from our website. You can contact our brand distributor, MDC Wall Coverings, MDC Interior Solutions, rather, and you can request samples from MDC. That probably sums up the ways you can obtain Len-Tex wall coverings.
Okay, great. Yes, and all those links also, if you go to Ecomedes, there are links to all of their websites through those product pages. So they should be super, super easy to find. If you have any other questions, again, you need to get in touch with either of the panelists. Please send me an email. My email is maya@ecomedes.com. With that, I appreciate everybody joining today. Thank you so much to our panelists for sharing your stories and for the work that you're doing in creating beautiful and sustainable products. So thank you so much. Thanks everybody for coming. If you have a second, fill out that survey and we'll be in touch. Thanks everyone.